kind of ad-libbed, and I said to myself out loud, I said, well, Jim, do you think this will really happen? Yes, I do. I really do think this will happen. We have the site identified, we have put together some capital, and we're going to go ahead and build this bank out here and execute. So I went back to my seat, not quite sure what to think, but I didn't get a hostile reaction, which was good. Couple more internet presentations. It's like the professor grabbed shotguns and started shooting at them or something. It was not pretty. So the whole room's pretty depressed, but the last presenter gets up, and she has a concept for a doggy daycare center in Lincoln Park, where you drop off the kids, the dogs, and leave them there during the day, and she would take good care of them and feed and walk them. Some really good questions about zoning and can you get that, and licensing, and but it was everybody liked that, and I'm sure that if you've ever heard of this concept, it's probably spread nicely, and it's the barriers to entry are not huge, not a lot of capital required, so we like that. Now after this class, it's kind of a depressed environment because most 85% of the class had not received thumbs up on these presentations. So the professor came up to me afterwards and said, do you have an extra copy of that? Here you go, sir. So what happens next? I said, well, tomorrow morning, I'm going to drive up to our attorney's office in Schaumburg, and I'm going to deliver this in hard copy in an electronic form, and we're going to cut and paste this into a private placement memorandum offering between $7 and $11 million of common stock to essentially family and friends of the organizers. Okay. Well, send me a copy of that offering when it gets done. I'd just be curious to see how it turned out. So you already heard that he invested in it and joined the holding company board. So he did the best he could to make the board meetings after we got the bank started in November of 2000. But living in Evanston and coming out to board meetings on a Tuesday afternoon was virtually impossible because of traffic and so forth. So we let Professor Meyer off the hook. But as I was walking out of that class, I said to my fellow business planners for our project, I said, I'm not sure about the rest of the class, but I think you two guys got your A that you're kind of in here for. So another aspect of what I mentioned, execution. The other thing I've seen lacking over the years in business planning is that feasibility aspect. And I think it's, I would ask that if you really think about what it is you're planning, convince us that not only can you do it, but that it's whatever it is that you're proposing to do is feasible. That you've done whatever that research is. We typically see a great lack of market research, market anything. Even asking your neighbors or doing any form of surveying that would give us any kind of clue that it's other than a good idea. So a third aspect I would say to you is that there's a kind of a phrase I've picked up over the years that say, pioneers get filled with arrows. So thinking about that for a minute, the pioneers of our country in the Great West would be those characters out there in uncharted territories, and not knowing where the dangerous sections are controlled by Native Americans, they get filled with arrows. So the smart guys who come along afterwards would pull the gold fillings out of their teeth and say, well, this was pretty good for us. It wasn't much fun for the pioneers. If you consider people like Bill Gates, for instance, he probably not a great inventor or a great pioneer, but he certainly was able to come along and put together office suites and so forth, which were really the remnants of some form of pioneers. The guy who invented Word, the guy who invented Excel, or some earlier versions of that, took it as far as they could, and then along came Bill, the integrator, the adapter. So keep in mind that if you're looking at a business plan and it has an aspect of integration, adaptation,